Hello there, welcome to the English Riviera Film Festival show, episode 4. And on the show today we have award-winning film director David Yorke. And David will be talking to us about his career, the different films he's been involved in, and what it's like to have your film shown at a film festival. But before we start, here's a couple of clips from some of his films.
Charlie, look, we're here. Do you remember this place?
I think so.
What's that?
Cheater!
What are you going to do about it? Okay, quiz.
And so on the show today, we've got David Yorke, who's the director, writer, producer. And before we start, David, introduce yourself.
Yeah, so my name's David Yorke. As you said, I'm a writer-director. I edit sometimes my films, but I want to focus more on the writing and directing. But yeah, I've been making films for a long time now. And yeah, just trying to keep going, really. Just trying to make the next one better and get more, actually have a budget so I can pay a crew.
Oh, well. Yeah, getting a budget is, yeah, always make sure in the films I do, you have a food budget. So you give them...
Yeah. Yeah, I think, yeah, if you can feed your crew properly, they're going to be a lot happier. I have started to realise that the more that I make them. And yeah, actually having breaks as well, which it's very hard to do when you're sort of running over schedule, but you know.
Yeah, it's that time limit you got on things. So, so what inspired you to become a filmmaker in the first place? And tell us about your career so far, from the early beginnings to sort of now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a weird one, really. I mean, I just, like a lot of filmmakers, I just grew up just loving film and TV, and I would watch so many films growing up. And then I used to draw cartoons. I'm not much of a drawer now. And then I sort of like changed, and then I started just writing stories. And then my fascination just grew. And I remember getting my first video camera at like age 11. And it was through like Argus, where I'd have to pay monthly because I didn't have a lot of money. So I was paying this camera off for like 3 years or something ridiculous. And it was one of those old ones that took like an 8mm tape, a cassette tape. And then me and my friends would just make stuff. Like, we just went really experimental, and we didn't have editing software, so I'd edit in camera, so you'd have to shoot everything in sequence.
Wow.
So yeah, so did like stupid music videos, and then shorts, loads of short horrors that probably won't see the light of day. But yeah, and then what happened from there was I just got that you know, that buzz from it, and I studied it in college and university, and yeah, continued to grow from there really, and just kept making stuff. And then when I come out of university, I was yeah, freelancing, doing a bit of everything really, like camera, sound, and runner work. And I was making music videos and shorts in my spare time. And yeah, that's pretty much, and I've just been doing it for a long time now. But I was one of those people that would do everything. Like I would shoot it and like write, produce, direct, everything. But now I try to hand that out to better people. Like I always want to try and get people on board that they're like experts in their field. So there's no point of me shooting anymore. I mean, I can frame a shot, I can compose, like, you know, I'm fine with it. But like I've worked with so many great DOPs that I'm like, yes, I want this person for like all my next films. And then I've worked with editors, and I think it's crucial to actually have an editor, someone that comes with a fresh pair of eyes, and it almost gives you a break. Then you can come back and you can see like an assembled piece, and then you can perfect it. Like, but I still edit a lot anyway, but hopefully when I actually get budgets eventually, I can just focus on writing and directing. Like that's my, you know, my favorite part.
Because I find when you if you're filming it and directing it, it's better if somebody else films it, because you can see everything.
Absolutely.
And you can
exactly. And
actors.
Yeah, I mean, that's what, like, it's a shame I haven't, I'm trying to do that more. Like, all I want to do is focus with the actors, but because I self-fund everything, I cut a lot of corners. We all cut a lot of corners, really. So I would love to do like rehearsals, and I would love to work with the actors a little bit more. But you're thinking, I've got to get this done by this particular time because we've got no money. So eventually it would be great to just have a funded film where I can just work with the actors and everybody can really just work on their roles. And yeah.
So with your films, with the short films that you've had great festival success with, actually I was going to do it in a sort of different order, the questions I was going to ask. I've seen your sort of career grow and grow. With festival success, how has that been? How have you entered your films into festivals?
I would say, well, I would say social media is a powerful tool. I'll always be open and honest. Like things can look better than they are. People don't see the hundreds of festivals that I submit to and get rejected, and it's been really hard. I spent so much money, and like, you know, working at a festival, as you probably know, you get so many films, so it's hard to give people feedback. So if I'm just getting a generic email saying, you know, we've been submitted loads of films, but yours just didn't quite make it, when you get like 10 of those a week, it can be really bad for your confidence and self-esteem. I think what happened, I was more surprised than anyone. It's been like the last couple of festivals, it's crazy that I like, even just getting selected is really nice, but I have that sort of way that when they sort of announce the winners, that I'm so used to the rejection that I'm not used to it. Like, so when my name's said, I'm just sort of frozen. Like my speeches are terrible whenever I win, because I'm there and I'm literally shocked because I'm so used to all that rejection. And I know so many different filmmakers, and I see so many amazing films that you do put yours up against them. And yeah, you look at them and think, well, yeah, mine hasn't got a chance. But then what I've found is everyone's tastes are so different. Like, whereas I'd go, yeah, that film's clearly better than mine, that should have won. Well, my film connected with somebody else more. And that's what I've kind of come to understand, that like, you know, my production value might be not as strong as others who have budgets, but sometimes they might see something of my film that they connect with. And yeah, it's been really nice. I've got to say, like, my confidence was really low in these last couple of wins that I got, and yours included. Like my actress in Safekeeping, she's been doing really well. She keeps getting really recognised and like always nominated for like best actress and stuff like that. And that's like, she's really grateful for that as well. It's just all unexpected, really.
So what's key to you? So you work across loads of different gears, and story seems to be key to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So bringing it all together, where does the ideas come from? Because I noticed your influences maybe behind you, the two posters.
Yeah. I mean, I love those films. Yeah, I hate being sort of like pigeonholed. I don't believe you should just work in one genre. Like, there's parts of, like, if somebody said, oh, you could only make one type of film, it would be something like Safekeeping, where it's very intimate, it's a few characters, and it's very character driven and mainly a drama. But I've noticed so many filmmakers, there's so many dramas out there, so many festivals get flooded with dramas, that like I just started to look at different avenues. And I've always been into horror, and like I said, I love all genres, but for me though, key is just character and story. Like, the two films that are of mine that I've done recently, which is Safekeeping and Eject, they couldn't be, like, they're so different from one another, and like they couldn't be more different. But like I think people are just connecting with just certain themes in it, because even though like Eject is a genre piece, like it's still based on, because my memory is absolutely terrible, and this horror film is about someone who sort of gets addicted to sort of updating herself to become a better person, like to have these like new skills, but by doing that she's losing herself by getting rid of her old memories. And it's that whole trying to run before you can walk, and I think most people can relate to that we try and do too much. So hopefully I'm answering your question. But for me, yeah, like how I come up with my ideas as well is I know it's cliche as hell, but it's so true. But it is writing what you know. Like Safekeeping, for example, the main characters in that, like, my sort of based on my niece and nephew, just how my niece looks after her nephews, and I love that sort of bond between like a brother and sister, or just any family members really. And then I always like adding something around that, and it's weird that Safekeeping is kind of like, I didn't plan it to sort of mirror what's going on now, like with, you know, with pandemic and everything. But I always was drawn to like an outside force sort of affecting the world. You know what I mean? Getting something real and then adding some, maybe a supernatural element or a horror element, like. So yeah.
So, but looking at your two films, obviously I've seen Safekeeping, you entered that Nigger Film Festival, as you say, the actress and won best actress there. What is important to do? You seem to do a lot with your budgets, in the sense they're very cinematic. Was that because I suppose sometimes indie films can be, because it's an indie film, it's low budget.
Yeah,
filmmakers tend to make it look low budget, but with your films, the cinematography seems to be.
well, that's what it is. It's my cinematographers. Like, they've been amazing. I've worked like cinema, like there's a guy called Phil Beastle that I've worked with many times, but he doesn't just, he's not just a cinematographer. He sort of helps me produce. Like, he's very good with resources. I'll be like, I need this and this, and he'll be like, oh, I think I can get that, or I know someone that does that. And his work ethic is, I've never seen him get mad or tired. Like, he believes that the project, he knows what we're there for. We're here to create like something, like a great piece of art, and he goes a distance. And then another DOP, David Cowler, he's like, he's shot quite a few of my films. And again, I think we connected, and we both just said how much we just want to make great art, and he just wants to make the visuals as strong as possible. I want that, of course, as well, but I want the story. The story is key for me, and it's trust as well. Like, when you meet someone and it's like, I know that person's not going to mess up the shot. Like, do you know what I mean? Once you have that trust, I can then focus on another area. But it's so important. I've worked with other DOPs that are really, really good, but I find that it's like a friend as well. I think when you're like, you're actually good friends, you then have like this, you want to really help that person. It's not just a job for them. I know that, like, I will still speak to DOPs and send them my scripts because I value their opinion and their feedback, and yeah, it's really helpful for me.
So going back to your film so far,
Yeah.
what's been the most inspiring moment as a director when you're thinking, yeah, this is working, you can see it, that adrenaline rush of being on set?
I think it's when you face a problem, and safekeeping is a perfect one, so I'll use that example. We had a scene where the main character, something happens at the end where she has to dig a hole, and we'd done like recce's, but we just didn't have enough time like to properly do it. And when we got there a month later, the dirt was really hard and you couldn't really dig this hole. And my DOP was like, I've got it, this is how we could do it. And we did these shots that, you know, make up the scene, like from a simple of her starting to dig, and then she has to bury something, and then we had the shot where the camera, it's like the POV of the hole, and then she puts this object on top of the hole. So by linking these up, we've said, oh, she dug this and done that. And I was flipping out because it was really hot, everyone was tired, and I couldn't really think. And that's what inspires me, when someone doesn't have to be a DOP, can be anyone, just comes up with a solution. And that when you're working together, these people aren't just going, oh, we're doing this job for this director. They're like, no, we want this to be great. And I get that all the time. And it's the same when it's recently when with these festivals, and then you get people come up to you saying, oh, yours was my favorite film. It makes me think everything was worth it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and then I'll tell my crew members, I'm like, do you know how many people keep coming up to me telling me how great the cinematography was or how good your acting was? And that's what makes it worth it. And then they can use it hopefully for their portfolios to get them new work and new projects.
It's the collaboration. So
yeah, absolutely.
So following on for that, you've given a load of inspiring words there to filmmakers out there. What would be your advice to a filmmaker? They're starting out and they want to enter a film into a festival. Any advice from?
Yeah, I'm still learning as well. I mean, it really does look like I'm more successful than I am. Like, I still haven't got budgets. Like, I've never been awarded funding, so I'm still, you know, quite. I'm still. I have come to realize is, do your research on the festivals. Watch the previous entries, because your film, you can't just submit it anywhere. You've got to know that yours would be a perfect fit for their festival. So doing a lot of research. What I've come to realize is as well, it's not just about the film. Like my film Eject, I made sure that we made like a really strong poster for it. So I had a still photographer, and we took out half an hour of filming just to do some like stills for the photo. And I get so many people that will look at that poster and be like, oh, I'm going to watch that film. What the hell is that about? You know, just this silhouette of someone standing in a tunnel with the word eject. And I've had so many people say how much they love that poster and will want to watch the film just off that. So, yeah, do your research on festivals. Make sure that you sort of have some marketing material, even if it's like teasing as well. I did make a trailer for these films, which I should have, but doing little teaser trailers, you know, releasing screenshots and just getting that buzz, generating buzz. But also attend the festivals, get a face to the name. Like, I always find that, and the amount of contacts I've got at, attending festivals, they're really close contacts now. We help one another's, and I've got a lot of director friends where you think, oh, they're kind of like competition, but at the same time, no, they're not. They're like really helpful, and you want each other to be successful. And I'm not about game playing. Like, I'm pretty open and honest. If somebody wants to ask me a question, I'll answer it properly. I'm not going to have like put on this show, like you can all like, do you know what I mean? Like I'm just not one of those type of people. So yeah, sorry, to go back to your question. So they research, marketing material, attend the festivals, watch as many shorts as possible, and don't be afraid to fail. Like there's nothing wrong with that. It's getting your experiences and then bringing that to your next film. And yeah, it's all about just learning from mistakes. None of my films are perfect. I'm still learning, and there's a lot of stuff I hate about my films, but I feel more and more confident moving on to the next one.
Brilliant. And last question. Thank you very much for joining us today.
No worries.
Where can we find out about your films and see them and the making of? And
Well, I used to have a stronger presence on Facebook. I'm still on there under David Yorke Films and David Yorke for like a personal one. Instagram, David Yorke Films, and then I've got my website, which is www.david-yorke.com. It's got nearly everything on there because I make promos as my day job for TV promos, but then you'll see a lot of my films and music videos. Yes, that's where you can pretty much find everything. In terms of like news, when there's upcoming stuff, I don't promote that as much as I should. I might on Instagram or Facebook going, hey, I'm doing this project, looking for this, this and this. But yeah, those are where you're likely to find everything.
Brilliant. Well, thanks so much for joining us today. That's very,
No
very
worries.
inspiring. And I loved how truthful you were about things, and people can take
Always.
yeah. Thank you very much.